All right, good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Mancy is here. We're going to go ahead and continue on. Should be day 10, where we're going to create a UI, user interface, that allows us to view the score and lives and stuff like that. What this is going to do is going to create it's going to be an overlay of the screen space that we're going to be using. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. To open up your Unity. Let me see where mine's at right there. Since Unity changed up a little bit, let me go ahead and take a look and see if it's here. UI, and we're going to do okay, so this is a little different than what I'm used to, but it should be a text, right? Canvas. Let me see what that does. All right, and screen space overlay. So this is the right one. Let me double check something real quick. All right, let me see if this other one is going to work, because I learned it with using text. Yes, this is it. Okay, so text. Okay. So when I create text, it's going to open up its own canvas and its own event system, and then it's going to provide me the text space that I need, right? You can barely see that it's probably not there. Okay. So what it does is it creates it very large and off to the side. It's technically going to be the size of this here, okay, your playing area, your game area. But when you are working on it, you have to zoom out, and this is your area that you're going to be working on, okay? All right, let's see if we have to import anything. I probably do. Okay, so if you get this, go ahead and import it if it lets you, okay? It should. Let's keep going here. I'm just waiting for this to upload itself, and then it should be good to go. All right. All right, so it's good to go now. And there's our text right here. All right, and we see it right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring our text over for right now and just set it right there. This text right here is going to be this text right here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is tell it where we want it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move it to the top left-hand side, right about right there. And if you notice, you're going to see the star. This means that this is the anchor point for this. So that means if I move my screen around, it's always going to use this as a reference. So we want to change that. We want to go ahead and anchor it to this top left corner. So that way it always stays on the top left like we want it. So we need to anchor it to this top left corner. What you need to do is go to this rect transform area, click on this little symbol right here. All right, and you're going to look for that top left corner, which is this one right here. All right, and now you notice that the anchor point changed for this. Okay, so we are good to go. So now if we ever need to change, or somebody's using a different resolution, then it will always commit to this top left corner. Okay, it'll always stay there. The next thing we also need to do now is we are able to change our text that's located inside here. What we have is this box right here. We got normal. We got all kinds of stuff right here that we can use, but we're going to go ahead and leave it on normal for text style. I'm going to go ahead and change this to lives. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and capitalize that. Lives, and then space. Okay. This is where we're going to input our lives here, and I'll show you that in a little bit. The font, if you want to use your different font styles, different presets, you can also change the size. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 25. Okay, not too big. And you can keep going back and forth to your game. So see, right here, it won't interfere too much. Okay, so going back. Again, don't try and mess with this. It's actually away from your actual scene. This is called the canvas. All right, this canvas always materializes away from the game area, so you don't get confused. Even though some of you still will get confused. All right. All right. So if you scroll, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff you can do to this text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it the way it is. I am going to change the color though. I'm going to go ahead and pick a darker red color. That way it stands out. And also keep in mind that we will be changing our background. So we just remember where you can change your color. All right. That way, if you happen to get something that is bright and it doesn't contrast with the red, then you are able to change this. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And I went ahead and went with something red. All right. All right. So we got this set up. So now we need to go ahead and create another one for our score. You'd go over here. You can do two things. You can go to Canvas and add another text. Okay. Or since you already have this one set up the way you want it, let's go ahead and change the name first. Rename it, and we're going to name it Live Text. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and then we're going to right click it, and we're going to go ahead and hit the word duplicate. Okay, so now it duplicated it, and since we have that selected, we're able to move it over here. Okay. All right, and what we're going to need to do is anchor it over to this corner now, right? Instead of the top left corner, we need to do the top right corner, which will be this one right here. Okay, so now this one is set to that. Let's go ahead and change it. This one is going to be the score. Okay, score text. Okay, and we can go ahead and change that now over here and go. I'm going to capitalize everything, and I'm going to keep it red, and I'm going to go ahead and do the colons. Okay, lives and scores. So now I have both of them set up right here. Let's take a look and see how it looks. Good. We might need a little bit more room, so let's go ahead and go back and just move it just a tad over to the left. All right, because I plan to be a high score guy. All right. All right, so the next thing we need to do is make sure that our script interacts with this UI that we created. Okay, so now let's just double check and make sure it looks good. I think it looks good to me. It looks pretty good. Yeah, lives and score. I could flip them, but I'll just keep them there. You can flip them. If you want to put lives over here and score over here, that's fine too. Got no problem with that. So let's go ahead and hit save here. And let's go ahead and go to our player one. Player one is the script we're going to go into. All right. So okay, so the first thing I need to do is, why did I pick player one? Well, player one is the one keeping track of my score, and it is also the one keeping track of my lives. One of the few things I need to do is go in here, because we are using a canvas. We need to go ahead and, or a UI, we need to let it know that we are going to be using that. So type in using, pay close attention to where I'm at in the script, please. And you're going to type in Unity Engine. And this is going to be .ui, because we are using UI, and that's capitalized, okay? And close it out with a semicolon. So now you're letting it know that, hey, I'm using the UI and I need to utilize all the methods and subroutines associated with that UI. Okay, let's go ahead and hit save. All right, so the next thing I need to do is come down here and create some variables in order for us to be able to link those texts together, I need to create some text variables. So it starts off with public. It is text, and then we are going to name it lives text, right? And then the next one is going to be, what do you think it's going to be? Score text. You guys are so smart. All right, to close that out, and then we're going to go ahead and just add a comment there, and that'll be links. I'll just go ahead and make one for both links to the text and lives. Okay. All right, so now we can go ahead and save it. Like I always like to say before we jump over to Unity, inside Unity it's going to update itself. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, so now there it is. And you can see right here that we added these variables, lives text, score text. So now what we need to do is go ahead and grab lives text and put it inside lives text. What's going on? Oh Lord. Let me double check and see what happened. Okay, so a few mistakes that I made because this is a newer Unity. Everybody go back to the Visual Studios. You're going to make some changes up here. The first one is instead of using the Unity engine.ui, we are going to be using the TMP, which is Text Mesh Pro, is what it stands for. All right, so Text Mesh Pro is what we're using because Unity updated it. And it took a little bit of research, but I finally figured it out. TMP Pro, TMP Pro. All right, however you want to say it. So just like this. Make sure you spell it out just like that. Another thing that's going to change is our public variables. These are new, so we're going to have to use it this way. It's going to be called TMP underscore text. TMP underscore text, and then the name that we gave it. We gave it lives and we gave it score. Text score and text lives. All right, so these are the links that we're going to be using. So those are the corrections that I needed to make. Make sure you use these corrections, please. If not, it's not going to work, as I found that out myself. So now we're going to go ahead and go back into our Unity, and we are going to go ahead and bring our player one into focus. As you can see, our text lives is right here and our text score is right there. So we're going to go ahead and add that live to our lives, and then we're going to add our canvas score into our score text. Okay, just like that. And that's the kind of symbols you should see. All right. All right, so the next thing we need to do is make sure this text lives interacts with our player. What we need to do is create a text. Looks like this. So text lives, which is what we use right here, dot text, and I want it to print out on the canvas lives. And what I'm doing is I'm converting this text into a string, which is this text right here. And what it's going to do is going to show it up on the canvas. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for score. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and instead of lives I'm going to change that to score. Okay, which is this one right here, and then we're going to change that to score also. Okay. All right, so now we're going to be adding some more code here in a little bit to make it all interact together, and what it's going to do is going to show us our actual score, but right now it's not going to point out that the score is not going to actually come up yet. Okay, let me see. I might be wrong, but I think I got one more piece of code to add. Alright, so let's play. Alright, so right now our score is not interacting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create some more code for that. Okay. Okay, so going back into our player text, what's the best place for us to score? So that best place is located down here where we add points. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add a comment, and we're going to add points to the text. And the way we're going to do that is very, very simple. We're going to go ahead and grab this score text that we created here. So now we're going to copy it. We're going to put it right here underneath the score points because we want it to score points first. Where do we want it to score points? Right here in this area. Okay. Not sure why that underlined. Okay. Let's test it out real quick just to make sure it works. So we should see scores up here, right here. Okay, let's see what we got. Alright, so our score is not working. Okay, so let's figure out what happened here. So I made a tiny mistake. Let me go ahead and show you. What I had done was copy paste, right? But I forgot to change this right here. I needed to change it to score. So make sure you do that right there, because if not, it's not going to know where to go, or you're going to get the number 3 all the time, like this right here. So make sure you see right here, it should go to score, okay? Everybody good? All right, once you get that going, save it, and then you should go ahead and play it, and you should be able to notice your score increasing as you kill these falling objects, okay? So, as you can see on the right hand side, you can see that I am scoring, but I am not losing lives, so that's what we're going to work on next, okay? All right, so now we need to affect the lives over here on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and go back into our script, and where our lives are affected is located right here. Okay, so we need to go ahead and grab this lives string. Okay. Control C for that, and then we need to go ahead and put it down here. Where are we going to put it? We're going to put it right here after game over, so that way it doesn't interfere with the game over. So I'm going to Control V that right there. But I'm also going to add a lives equals 0. That way it doesn't go into the negatives. Live equals 0. We're going to go ahead and close that out, so that way it doesn't go into the negative. Even though we disabled it, I just don't feel that just in case somebody decides to change some of the programming, it won't happen to us. Okay, so let's go ahead and start there. Let's save it. Take a look at our Unity, and we're going to pay attention to the lives. Okay, so hit play there. So we know our score works, right? So now we got to check our lives. It's 2 and 3. So now we're disabled. and we shouldn't get no more negative lives because we are disabled. Okay? All right, so it looks like everything's working. Make sure you watch the video slow. If you make a mistake, make sure you take a look at the mistakes that I made and corrected and how I corrected them, okay? Because I was going off of an old software that I used to use. Unity has made more, okay? Has updated itself, so I had to research that and double check and make sure that I got it right, okay? I'll let you go for now, and we're going to add a game over after we hit 0 lives. That'll be the next video. Thank you very much.